This is Beyond the Veil with Norman Meredith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Norman, with another episode of Beyond the Veil. Tonight we're going to talk about the Coosaw River Monster from Alabama. And in the background is my producer and occasional co-host, Ed Lease. Give a shout out there, Ed.
Shout out.
All right. I thought tonight we'd talk about cryptids. And I thought I'd do one to Alabama, from Alabama. See, my stepfather's from Alabama. My ex-wife lives in Alabama.
All the monsters in Alabama.
Yeah, all that monsters in Alabama. Also, a quick update. The unidentified flying object I seen last Sunday, another individual sighted it Sunday night of this week, passing in front of the moon, and what he described seeing was a red object. So I'm going to have to be doing some stargazing here at night and see if I can see anything else maybe going on or flying around in our area. All right, let's talk about the Coosaw River Monster. You know, I thought it would be good. I might have to start doing cryptids of various states. I think that might be a good idea, you know, pick a random state. If you got a state and you want me to do your state's cryptids and look them up, send me a text or a direct message and I will look it up and put it on the show. If you want me to talk about cryptids from your state or something unusual to bring up on the show. What do you think about that, Ed?
I think they should, man. You know, that could be a whole series. Regional monsters.
Yeah, or paranormal events, or
oh yeah, all those
or
all
other
the
stuff
stuff.
that's related. Anything that you think might be something you want to hear about that's related to your area. Why don't you guys drop me a line and let me know what you think? Because this way, I'm catering to you, not just to my random whims or Ed's occasional fancies on stuff. All right, let's talk about Alabama. Well, Alabama has a folklore. Now, here's a picture. Now, I'm thinking this is just a representation, but what is important is not the guy holding this giant snake head, is the head itself. Okay? This is a representation out from what I've looked at. You know, they're trying to pass it off as real, but we know better. Is a representation of the head of the Coosaw River Monster. Now, let me go into a little bit of history. Alabama has folklore about several cryptids, with the Coosaw River Monster being one of the most prominent river-dwelling legends. Characteristically, by serpent-like or horse-like features with a prominent head and neck, and reportedly seen in 1877. While a specific name like the Coosaw serpent is sometimes used, the monster is often described as similar to the Loch Ness Monster. You know, that's amazing, because here in the United States, you know, Lake Champ, you know, there's Champ up there along the Five Fingers Lake.
Is that Lake Champlain?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, they've got their lake serpent up there. But you notice the similarities is they're always snake-like in appearance.
Always.
And then the ones up around Alaska have been snake-like in appearance, as is the Loch Ness. Is either they're a form of sea life that we haven't categorized, or it's actually a cryptid that's very elusive. All right, a little bit about the description about the Coosaw River Monster, okay? Witnesses' accounts from the 19th century describe a large serpent-like creature with a horse-shaped head, prominent neck, and large eyes. Some reports mention a white belly and knots on its back, while others mention a fiery red tongue. All right, this photo is supposedly a actual photo from late 1877 and further of the creature traversing a river, the Coosaw River. Now, but you notice what they're saying is about the head. You know, you look at the head of the Loch Ness Monster, the head of Champ, the head of the serpent up in Alaska. Bring up that next photo for a minute, please, Ed.
Sure thing.
Now, this is a representation. You know, this is like a sea monster even, but it also applies to what we're talking about. If you notice the head, it's, you know, people are using what they're used to. Back in the 1800s, okay, it would have been a horse head, because that's what they're most familiar with.
Right.
Or a dog's head, or a bear's head. They would describe it to an animal they're most familiar with. You know, where in modern times now, someone might say, hey, it looked like a giant reptile head, or something of the same. But you notice the characteristics always seem to be the same. Some form of protrusions along the back, the eyes, and I find it interesting this time that someone talked about the tongue on the creature. You know, majority of creatures, I don't think I've ever seen a creature with any other tongue color besides red. Have you?
I have not.
And lizards technically do have bright red tongues.
Bright red or like a pinkish hue.
Yeah, that they use that for sensing things, for sensing heat. They do it to find food.
Other reptiles use it for smell.
Yeah. The salamander, I think, isn't it?
Snakes do.
Snakes, yes. They use that for sensing. They also sense heat with that, don't they? Or is that
All sorts of stuff, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like multifunctional organ for them.
Yeah.
It's like a radar.
Yes. And there's one more picture. Let's bring up number 4, I think it is. The head. Now, here we look at the head
Nessie.
and the neck. Right, Nessie. Now, this is supposed to be the Coosaw River monster, even. Now, if you look at it, yes, you would kind of think it's a horse's head without the ears. And a typical white belly may be a defensive mechanism. If you're looking up at the water, up underneath it, you'd be seeing the sky. If you've ever been scuba diving or snorkeling and you roll over on your back and look up, you see white coming through the water if it's clear. And that would be a natural adaptation for a reptile, for some reptiles. Not all, because I don't believe crocodiles and alligators got white underbellies. They're dark, I believe. But, you know, some creatures do have white underbellies of the reptile class. And so that would be a natural camouflage for them. All right, let's go on to some explanations. While some witnesses witnessed it in 1882, a report suggested that the monster was a mass of leaves and weeds from the river bottom, possibly disturbed by gas. All right, methane gas has been reveled in UFO sightings, paranormal sightings, and I guess river monsters now. Did you know that, Ed?
Well, I mean, if it's got methane gas and it's got a red tongue and it can breathe fire, you know, at least there's your fuel source.
That can breathe if it's ignited.
Man, if that breath smells like methane, we got problems.
Oh yeah,
Must
gosh.
be eating some crap.
Definitely. Okay, the Coosaw River monster is considered one of Alabama's most enduring mysteries and part of the state's rich cultural tapestry. I didn't know that. I think that's pretty cool that, you know, they got a cool river monster named that's part of their state history. Just like with us, with the reptile man, the lizard man.
Lizard man.
Yeah, you know, he's our local legend, isn't he?
I thought it was just a guy from Florida.
Nah.
I'm sure they've got their own regional ones too, and their state monsters as well, especially in the Panhandle, because it's, you know, close to all the other states, just stretching across the Gulf. They got Waterside, they've got, you know, their folklore and regional ones up there as well. So that's got to be a huge hodgepodge, and probably maybe even the same thing, but called different names from different, you know, regional groups that live there.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about Bigfoot being a popular creature. And, you know, down in Alabama even, they got their own version of a Bigfoot. It's called the Downy Booger. You know, that sounds familiar up here. Don't we have a Boogerman Lane, Boogerman Creek?
Booger Branch.
Booger Branch.
Booger Branch.
And it's supposed to be based on a booger creature.
I don't know.
I think that's
like the
what
boogeyman.
Johnny was telling us one day on the other show before. He was saying it was based on a creature like a Bigfoot, and they were calling it the booger.
Could be.
Here's two other items of note from Alabama. The Wolf Woman, a creature reported in Mobile, Alabama in 1971 with the head of a woman and the body of a wolf. Bad hormones?
Possibly. Or maybe just normal.
Or she just didn't shave.
Au naturel.
I'm sorry, folks. I know I'm making fun of somebody with possible condition, but...
Well, I mean, it's true. There's certain people with certain conditions in Mexico. The Wolf Boys, their brothers, they joined the circus. Their whole body, except for their eyes and mouth, like the lip area, the soft tissue area, is covered by woolly hair.
Yeah,
the entire body.
There's a lot of that in history, even now still.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. One of their most other famous thing is the White Thing. I kid you not. Often called Alabama's most famous cryptid. The White Thing is described as a tall, white, humanoid creature with glowing red eyes and an eerie screech. I think that was part of a Project Blue Book story from a UFO encounter, if I recall right. I could be wrong. Let me see what I got on this stuff. Hold on here. Let's see what I got here. I don't want ads. Go away. The White Thing is Alabama's most legendary cryptid, and no one can quite agree on what it is. Some say it looks like a white Bigfoot. Others swear it's more like a giant cat or a wolf. Standing nearly 8 feet tall with glowing red eyes, the creature is fast, elusive, and known for an eerie screech. Most sightings of the White Thing occur in northern Alabama between Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties. However, it's been spotted in Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, Walnut Grove, and Happy Hollow. The creature's reach isn't limited to one corner of the state. Reports have popped up in other areas of Alabama, even in neighboring states. The last major sighting was reported in the early 2000s, but some say the White Thing is still out there. Reports surfaced as recently as last year, and a Facebook group is dedicated to the creature as locals swapping stories and asking, have you seen it? So, Bigfoot is known to screech. It could be an albino Bigfoot.
Yeah. Get confused with the Yeti. Yeah. You know, even in non-snow-bearing areas of the deep south.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here's a little perp on Wolf Woman. The Wolf Woman in Mobile is one of Alabama's most mysterious legends. In 1971, people in Mobile reported seeing a creature with a woman's head and wolf body. Witnesses described glowing eyes and eerie howls. Who dozens claim to see her, no proof has turned up, and then she seemed to disappear. But stories keep popping up with locals and students saying they heard strange sounds deep in the swamps. Whether real or just spooky tale, the Wolf Woman remains a haunting tale. Interesting. But that would probably explain, like we're saying, it is possible that maybe it was somebody that lived in the swamps or on the reach that had that genetic deformity.
Could be.
You know?
Inbred and things like that. You don't get out much.
Yeah, I don't get out much. I don't get out much anymore except to go to work, paint miniatures and stuff like that. I just just stay home now. All right, let's push up a couple other pictures that supposedly... Okay, this is another possible rendition of the Coosa River monster. Now, if you notice, this looks like some of the dinosaurs from early prehistoric times that prowled our lakes, rivers, and oceans.
I'd like to say Plateosaurus, but I might be wrong on that.
That's why I'm not even trying to say... I want to say Pleistocene, but I might be saying the wrong word. But, it's just one of the many. And that seems to be the common shape that a lot of people talk about seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's just that thought. And then there was a weird one that showed up on the coast. When you get a second.
Sure. Which one? The next one?
Yeah, bring up the next one.
Yeah, we got you.
All right. This is supposedly the Coosa monster as well, supposedly coming up out of the water. And if you notice, it looks more like a giant lizard because it has 4 legs. And supposedly in the story, it doesn't have 4 legs, but these could be flippers that, with the legs, but in the traditional sense, they don't seem like flippers.
I've got a little information on it.
Okay, what you got?
So this image, let me go back to this one right here real quick. This one says it's a drawing of Altahamaha, also known as Alti, sort of like Nessie, Loch Ness monster. Cryptid reported to inhabit the Altamaha River in southern Georgia.
Okay.
So it could be at a different place. It is often described as resembling a sturgeon, featuring a bony ridge along its back and possessing crocodile-like snout. It is said to swim in a manner similar to a dolphin or porpoise, utilizing its front flippers for propulsion. And reports suggest the creature is gray with a whitish yellow underbelly.
It could be one and the same.
Could be the same thing from the same region.
Yes.
Different stories.
All right. All right, going back to the other one, if you notice, the head does look like a horse, but you have the cowling on the top, the large black eyes, and here you see more fangs related to the teeth. What do you think about this one as being a Kusa monster?
Well, it's possible, it's up on itself. It's shaped like a horse. Big dark eyes tells me that it mostly is nocturnal.
Yeah.
And the big fangs tell me that it attacks. And because of the dorsal-like fin on the head, it tells me that it swims and steers with its head instead of its tail.
Yeah.
Like a alligator will steer with its tail.
Yeah.
But this one with its head, so it's maneuverable.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an apex predator.
Definitely. Definitely an omnivore. I don't see no grass. I don't see no herbivore tendencies in this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to get close to the river with that if I knew that thing was prowling around.
No, sir.
I think it would laugh at my 458.
I don't think it would do much.
I'd give it a good sportsman try.
Yeah, that's right.
You might find my body, but you'd find a lot of brass.
That's right.
All right, folks. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this Kusa River monster exists? And if it does, share your photos or pictures or stories if you have them. And send us your thoughts about legends, monsters, paranormal, or things that go bump in the night that in your area. And then you'd like us to do a little research and throw it up on the show.
But, sir.
Yes.
There's more.
Really? You got a surprise.
We've got this one here, too.
I forgot about that one. Now, this one supposedly was found on the Alabama coast.
That looks like a space alien.
I think somebody just got too creative with Photoshop, and I had to throw it up there and say, folks, this looks like a cross between a large snake with a whale's tail and a starfish.
Or an octopus. Or the guy from Predator back in the 80s. Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Nah. Could be John Wick with a haircut.
It actually kind of looks like a giant squid eating a whale. They both died and washed up on shore after a tropical storm.
I hadn't thought about that.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's trying to, giant squids. They're absolutely massive.
Yeah, especially
Some of
around
the
California.
Tentacles, they're up to 60, 80 feet long, these tentacles, And they're never seen. No. Very, very, very rarely photographed, let alone video. Yes. I saw a video of one. It was actually caught somehow on a oil rig off the shore of California.
Yeah. Baja area especially, they've found a lot of pictures. And I think the Japanese fishing fleet or one of the research vessels.
Like a deep trawler?
Yeah. Okay. Caught something on one time, but that was it. But then you got the stories of the Kraken.
They ate it.
Of course. Then you got stories of the Kraken from off Norway. Because that's a very popular sea monster. And you ever notice in ancient times when they drew maps of the seawater?
Just going for that.
There was always sea monsters.
Always some kind of something massive. Mm-hmm. But then I do think about it was that, how old were these people who were doing it? Was this was obviously like pre-glasses before, people could see, because some people, they take off their glasses, they can't see anything.
Right.
They may have sensationalized something, or is it something more sinister?
Really? No telling. All right, folks, we're going to leave it here tonight, and thank you for joining us, and look forward to our next show. Next week, I'll be on the Boo Boo Bus, so I won't be here, so it gives me a week to work on some projects to see what I can bring back in 2 weeks for the show. So, folks, thank you for being with us, enjoying at least 20 minutes of taking your time out with us. Ed and I say thank you, and look forward to joining you all again. Good night.